Sorry guys, this is part 2. I accidentally pressed the stop button rather than pause. Yes, I know, I'm smoking. It is one of my vices. I know. I can feel some people right now. But anyways, they were saying embellishing in their thoughts. So they just interrupted that whole channeling. Now what they're trying to say right now, because I went through, I paused it, and I looked it up on Google. And we are so used to living in this life where we get caught up in the details. We get caught up. Everything's fast. It's like the best way I can explain it is the visualization. I'm a very visual person. Of Finding Nemo, right? When they jump on that turtle highway or whatever, we're so used to living on that fast track all the time. So right now, what's happening is this pause to allow the thoughts to flow in and out and just in a very airy energy, which makes sense because we do have a lot of things going on in Gemini right now, including the North Nodal switch that we had just had from Cancer to Gemini. So, and all of this, what's happening is, and then you've got Sagittarius, which, yes, they are opposing signs on the zodiac wheel. I actually explained natal charts to someone the other day, and I have a little bit of a sketch. It's not the cleanest sketch. So, also, vitamin C, period, will help a lot with opening the heart chakra, which is a download that my guides did give me. Depending on the kind of crowd that this draws, I may decide to put a little bit more of my channelings on here if I am moved. But yeah, so when we look at it, the North Node and the South Node are always completely opposite. So like, for example, like Taurus and Scorpio sit across from each other. They're very opposite, but they're super not. Like, so best way I can explain it is it's like the way it always falls is you always have like a mutable with a mutable. So Pisces is a mutable sign, Virgo is a mutable sign, Aries is a cardinal sign, Libra is a cardinal sign. And this is a little bit of an astrology course too, I guess. Why not? There's a lot of ground to cover in a short time on this channel, so if you can keep up, keep up. If you have questions, that's fine too. You want to have conversations, you want to actually make these live and have conversations in a safe space for us on this high tide right now. My heart is so open, so I can already feel that I'm going to be having great energy with the people that are going to be coming into this. So with the North Node and South Node, it's this positioning of the energy that we move into. So even though they're opposing signs, so like Aries and Libra, Aries dictates self, right? Libra is like friendships, partnerships, things you have with your coworkers. That let's say we were in that. We weren't. We were in Cancer. What was it? We were in Cancer / Capricorn, North and South Node. Your North Node is when you look at your birth chart, your North Node is what we move into in life. Now, if you haven't hit your Saturn return yet, your first one, which hits probably about anywhere between 25, 27 years of age, that's because Saturn takes a long time to move because of how far away it is, blah, 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 is it the third? It happens around every 27 years. So if you look at it, including the wheel, it's the motion of life. It's all a cycle. Pisces is the ending, like the Alpha and Omega. So like we have that Pisces births Aries, and then we go through the cycle. Each quadrant is like the seasons. If you're familiar, one of you guys really needs to be drinking some tea, opening up the throat chakra. Actually, cold water is very good for that. Chrysocolla is very, very good for that. But anyways, sorry, I'm getting downloads about someone specific that'll be watching this. I'm not trying to get sucked into that energy. We're just trying to do a general. So we have our first season, We have our sex season. Oof. Second season, third season, fourth season, and it always comes around full circle. And it always comes back to whatever. It just keeps going round and round. It's like that wheel of fortune. Energy is fluid, right? So like even with astrology, we have like lines. There, if you look at a line under a microscope, there are dots in that line. There's ways that energy moves throughout that. That's how we rotate, right? And all of the energies can affect us based on planetary placements, degree placements, where they fall in our natal chart, everything else. I don't remember where I was going. Oh, North and South Node. So even though signs can be very, very different from each other, they actually hold a lot of similarities. So it's kind of like a teeter-totter. It's like a seesaw. It's like a swing. They were giving me some downloads about words the other day, and one of them was a different language for the word. It was the Polish word for swing. One of my ancestors is from Czechoslovakia. So in Czechoslovakian, they were saying swing. Right now, we have a teeter-totter between all of these things, and we have this going within energy. What path are you going to choose? It's more of that faith or fear. It's taking both sides of you and allowing yourself to be in this weird voidal space right now. We have a lot of Gemini energy right now, which is a lot of mind energy. We have a lot of Gemini energy right now. We got a lot of planets in Gemini. Plus we have like eclipses. We have a lot of stuff coming up. Okay, just let you know. I think we have some eclipses going on in June, or the first one at least. We're going to be back to back to back, like crazy energy. This year, 2020, in numerology, 2 + 2 = 4, right? 4 is always equivalent to stability. Yeah. That's like the 4 of Wands. It's stability. And everybody has a different perception of stability, but right now it's been so shaken up. The problems have been highlighted. And so now on everybody's individual scale, everybody's reevaluating what makes me happy. You know, it's funny where that landed. Am I going to let the old things die? The old ways die? So, and it's funny because it seems like this is going to be a long year in a sense, like not time-wise, but it seems like there's places that may seem, by the way, when they said embellish, that is the whole thing. We're realigning our thoughts, but we can't get too hung up on the details because we're in such a voidal, flowy state to not grab onto every little thing, not hone in on the details. It's okay to allow yourself to feel the positive that is coming through us with this space that we're taking. It's super freaking essential for us to stop thinking that we're on that turtle highway and finding Nemo and that we can't get off of it. You can. If you want to. It's the faith or fear. But there's going to be so many places that we can get off at, right? All this land in the background. But none of that is equivalent to that 10 of Cups, beautiful fucking energy. And there's just like this huge thing about self-deception. We do have Neptune home in Pisces right now, and that is squaring Venus retrograding Gemini, which is all about the mind. So we got a lot of that mind energy, and then Neptune is also infamous for illusions. So right now it's just kind of the fact of we came from these choppy waters, right? Look at that behind us, in front of us. It's very calm. It's serene. Like I said, everything's kind of like sepia. This is a perfect depiction of that. It's all the same color. And a lot of it is about standing in your self-expression, your voice. We're heading into that energy. There's been a lot of energy between the heart and the solar plexus lately. And like that green yellow, if green yellow has been like screaming to you or like that you need to work with it, that's why. It's because we're learning to move through a lot of the stuff we've been dealing with for the last few years. Some of us have been just hit with a completely different view on spirituality. And that's also going to keep happening with Gemini and Sagittarius, is finding that truth, And also, I feel like someone needs to hear it, and I know I need to hear it as well. Spirituality is not something that you just put into a cookie cutter. It all depends on you. You know, what resonates with you. We are all in our specific tiny flesh bodies separately for a reason. We're all living a different experience. Things resonate at a different truth, and that is fine, right? That is completely fine. Right? This is just such an unapologetic energy. And taking only the necessary things. He's got that little knapsack like that SpongeBob and Gary, right? And he's got the guidance. He's got the guidance right behind him. And the sun. It's very much so, Leo is about that, letting that inner child come out. And it's great because there's just this energy of like letting all the parts of you come along for the ride. And you start dumping off the things that don't resonate. If you ever taken a long trip and things just get too heavy and like, let's say you have too many oranges, so you eat a whole bunch of oranges, just dump the rinds. Now your backpack is 10 pounds lighter because, I don't know, maybe you fucking eat oranges like I do, which is very great for opening up your heart space. For some reason, that's what my guides have been telling me. So you've been struggling with some sorrow, some old heartbreak, even you breaking your own heart. There's a lot of us have come into this point of we think we know our path, and we just started coming into it like last year, this year, or we manifested things last year and then thought that whatever. For me specifically, like I dumped a lot of baggage last year to make some space. My guides were it's like my soul contract has been completely had to be revised, looked at, discussed, signed, and there's some things we can't unwrite. Because we already wrote it before we got here. Yes, I already said this channel is going to be super woo, so I do believe that and this is a very touchy subject for some, so take it if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. Not really in the mood for an argument on this, but, we got to leave some stuff behind. There's things that we got to leave behind. It depends on what you want to create. Are you going to create, and this was on the bottom of the deck, are you going to create this stable foundation? I got to stop looking. They keep having ones behind ones. What are you going to create? We have built a faulty foundation as a whole. And as a whole, because all of us individually have built our realities on faulty foundations that no longer serve us. There's, and there's such this weird like time warp of like getting sucked into different time, like time grids, if that's the best way I can explain it, timelines. But they're not timelines. They're total, like, it's a total grid. It's a total world. Like, you have the ability to pick whatever timeline you want to ride on, okay? Energy is fluid. If every dimension is happening at the same time, in the same location, why can't you just want that one? We can, because guess what's crowning this reading? Someone needs to hear this. We all need to hear it. Look at all of those tools, all of the tools of the tarot you have, literally, in your hand. And that cup of love is standing tall. It's not upside down. It's not knocked over like the Five of Cups. I feel like there's a lot of people in Five of Cups energy right now. There's a lot of people in this energy of, I worked so hard for this, right? But they're not realizing you have the Ace of Pentacles gifted by Spirit right at your feet. If you decide to be the Fool, I wish I could just and you have this waiting for you. It's shining down on you. It is for you. There's something for you. It doesn't mean to get too, with that channeling about embellishment. Like, yes, you can create your thoughts, but also we do have that Piscean Neptune energy that can be illusions, over romanticizing of certain things. Don't get stuck on one thing. Let this wave, let it flow. Let you flow through it. Like, flow in this moment. You have calm waters right here, right? And you just flow. Just lay on your back, whatever. If there's things that are weighing you down, you tie your own cylinder blocks on your ankle, it's time to get those off. okay? Because this energy is what, this energy right here of, oh, I thought that was stable. Girl, do you not see their faces? Right? And it's funny because there's like this visual of like, if you keep fighting that, it's going to be like, oh my God, the world is ending. Get out of that energy and look at the fact, look at it like this. If you put my head over this and go, like you literally, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Stop looking at the old, okay? There are new things happening. No matter what path you choose, it always leads back to the same puddle, which is something I've realized in this card. You also have 8 stars on this card, which is very indicative of abundance, which a lot of personal reads that I have done are all about abundance. There's really no point in asking the specific things that are going to happen because guess what? We're all just in this beautiful floating energy where there's so much space because us as a collective have really put the work in, especially with codependency. That's definitely a video I want to get into. Maybe I'll try to get into doing a video a day this weekend and start getting this channel going. But it's a complete crumbling of codependency. With codependency, what happens with codependency, right? Everybody's guilty of it to a degree with certain things, with people, with whatever. Liking to be comfortable in the same place, same job, same pay, being treated the same by people when that's not. The energy right now is very flowy and ethereal. But the thing is, literally, it's this beautiful void energy that is happening that's allowing us all this space. That's why I think the quarantining with the feet apart is great right now. Things have slowed down for most of the world. And yes, I do understand that it is a thing. We're not going to make this a whole political whatever fucking. We're not going there. I feel like there might be one more card that might want to come out and then, yep. But a lot of people aren't used to using their intuition. They don't know what that voice is because we do have the Hierophant on the board. You start second guessing yourself is when you get really lost. It's funny, me and one of my friends had gotten lost on a trail today. And we are gifted this voice, but we still look up at it as a lack of having, right? Or a yearning for something that already exists inside of us. The Hierophant would have not come out at all if you didn't have that intuition. It is in reverse because you are not using your intuition. It is okay to get rid of the dualistic mindset. Things are multifaceted. We are 3D beings. Like, I don't know, if you have to, freaking flick yourself a couple times. I'm not telling you slap yourself in the face. You want to do that, that's on you. But like, we're here to experience things. We're multifaceted. We're not 2D. Like, it's okay to feel. You feel like one of you guys, someone who's watching this is having a really hard time of pushing emotions out, or not pushing emotions out, just letting them out. And when these emotions come out, they push out. They're just like projectile vomiting emotions because they don't know how to just let themselves feel, let themselves cry. And guess what? I have a hard time with that too. And I'm a Pisces. Some of us get a little bit of murk in that water. And right now is a great time to filter through that murk because we don't have all these people in our energy fields. And we're starting to create boundaries, right? A boundary so we can turn this energy, which is yucky, very patriarchal, hierarchy, right? With this false sense of money gifted by the government, for example, with just blank paper. That lack mentality, this controlling energy of go to work, go to work, go to work, go to work, go to work. The lack mentality of, I need to work my life away because I have nothing. When you say those words, even me saying those words out loud, words are so powerful. People don't understand, words are actually spells as well. We're trying to move more into this, right? You got that self-loving, you get the cucumbers on your eyes, right? You have that boundary of give and take. And there's some people that we're literally holding our, I don't know how to explain it. We're gifted a cup of love for ourselves every day. And we're also gifted cups to give to others. Many times with codependency, we dig into our own cup and give it all away. And we don't know how we still continue to have more and more and more. And it's when you keep pouring out love and you don't understand how you don't get any love, so where is this love coming from? It's that one divine cup, that ace of cups that you get every single day from the divine, to love on yourself, to listen to yourself, to manifest anything and everything you want. And you go like this, and you go like this. And then all of a sudden you're super controlling and you're not taking rest. You're just gung-ho about everything. Next thing you know, you're avoiding a tower and you're like, take me now. No. Now let's switch that energy on that board. We're going to make this board right back to the great energy that it is. Right? So you're creating boundaries. You also understand when you're deserving of something. You're allowing yourself to receive when need be. Receive, especially with that energy of self-love. Taking time, taking space, not always clouding your energy with everyone else. This is super, 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 super important. Super important right now. And I'm going for this, and of course they're giving me the direction to use the one behind my phone. I never use this deck. So one of you guys, not one of you guys, a few of you guys, well, everyone needs to be paying attention to totem animals right now. This deck specifically has, and it's a fat deck for someone with tendinitis, so bear with me. I'm trying to see what energy we need to come into right now. Starfish. This is renewal, dude. A starfish is really cool because you can cut off an arm and it grows back another arm. And they're just beautiful. They're like watery stars. They shine in their emotion. They understand that vulnerability is actually the greatest strength that we possess as humans because we allow ourselves to be open. But we also have this new energy of creating beautiful fucking foundations. So with that renewal energy, yet again, and this intuition, and then we also have the fox, which is my baby. And the fox, I believe this is the fox in this deck. We're actually going to check, which this is a number 15, so that's 6, so that's all that balance. Right now we also are in the age of Aquarius, so we're beginning to see that all the sepia, that split, the people who are high vibe, they see that everything else is sepia to these other people. It's very stagnant, like slow, victim mentality, sad energy, but the people who choose to keep riding that high wave have really been putting in the work of that. It's okay. It's time for me to rest. It's okay. It's time for me to go within. It's okay if I say no. And there's something, one of the podcasts I listen to, I freaking love her to death. Her name is Jessa Reed. Jessa Reed, she says something quite a bit about this. Hold on, let me gather my thoughts. I don't know where that was going. That's going to go somewhere. Sometimes that happens, and I know that that's just like outside energy that's just trying to get into my bubble. So the jackal is is very like sly. It's very much so like Fox. And it seems kind of like they got that sneaky energy too, but you got the shadow card here. It's that integration of shadow and understanding what the shadow helps us with, which is like I was saying, is helping make that boundary for you. Clever Jackal always finds the tools needed to unlock trapped energy. Jackal is a master of the land and shadows that live within the subconscious. By dancing with the shadow self, he is reborn with new insight and spiritual wisdom. Everyone has a shadow self composed of desires, repressed thoughts, and instincts. It represents the unknown, and it is necessary to embody the whole true self. To me, what fake light is not understanding that you need depths too for it to be whole. If you only decide to perceive the overly optimistic bullshit, you're going to have a lot of these, right? And it's going to be regarding a lot of that. We are whole. There's no need to just look at certain aspects of ourselves and then speak hatred and spew hatred to parts of us that are human. We are having a human experience. It's okay to not always do the spiritual thing. It's okay to not always do whatever, man. Like, it's there for a reason. It's for your instincts. Your shadow self is developed through all these traumas that we go through. And as we start seeing that for what it is, that it's not, something really, really nasty, it can finally turn into something like that. But when you start pulling back those layers and seeing what it is, it's always comes down to like child stuff, things like that, and these things help us see through the fog. I'm just getting this visual of like a wolf just protecting and like also like understanding when it's time to get food, when it's time to feed the babies. Like, your shadow does serve a purpose, and when you look at just the light aspects of yourself, you're completely disregarding important parts of you that are meant to protect you. Obviously, if you have a shadow imbalance, you're going to do things out of overly shadowy energy. And you got the Queen of Crystals, so I think that there's this energy. The Queen of Crystals in this card is it's like I think it's a hedgehog or a porcupine. We're going to see. And it's about that protection energy again, because we have a hedgehog. And it's very earthy energy. She's committed to what she believes in and takes time to take care of that which is most important in her life. Her quills are an embodiment of her protective nature, yet she is equally loving. God, this is perfect. She knows how to take care of herself with grace and finesse, and she is a teacher of defense mechanisms against negativity. Take time to ground yourself with the earth's energies. I would definitely look into protective crystals right now, for some of you, just some of you. Take time, and it's good for everyone all the time. Why not? But some of you need to be focusing more on like opening your heart, because I did get this message at the beginning of this reading of also allowing yourself to be able to ground these things, that embellishment mindset. There's a need to ground these things into your reality to make that blueprint. Take the time to make the blueprint of whatever timeline you are picking, because there's timelines available right now, different ones that we could pick, like a touch screen. It's very like fluid. Security and prosperity are yours if you pursue practical solutions when setting goals. Keep in mind that little common sense goes a long way. So obviously we have a mind and a heart for a reason, right? We weren't just thrown on here with a heart just meant to feel everything, even though it feels like that some days, or to overthink everything. It's a balance between the two. And those are both, I'm just getting this like solar to crown chakra visual for some reason. Connecting the two highest. It's connecting the two highest things. in some regards, when it comes to your shadow energy and integrating with the higher knowing, and I don't know how to explain it because it's just, all right. Those are bad words. Don't say the IDK. It's this feeling of like this constant searching when we have these downloads that come to us on a daily basis, and your solar plexus is your willpower house, right? It's your willpower house. It's how you put things into the world. And that's a beautiful thing. Just understand that your thoughts are very important. Once you become more high vibrational, you have to be mindful of your thoughts. Creating new thoughts, to the degree that a lot of us have put this work in already, it's taken so much. I'm also realizing that we have very fire energy. We have all you guys out here. We got the water energy. We got the airy kind of energy. We also have the world card, which speaks for itself. We're moving into beautiful fucking energy. It's fulfillment. It's celebration. It's coming back into our soul tribe. We've got that Aquarian energy like crazy right now. And it's just, I almost feel like this reading, like as far as it's gotten already, has kind of been a little redundant. And sometimes people just need to hear things in certain ways, and that's fine. Part of this is also happening because my throat chakra feels super out of weight. Yeah, see? Out of whack with all this Gemini energy hitting me. So, there is a time for rest, and that is okay. Don't feel guilty. Oh, that's what I was going to say. See? The Jessa Reed thing. She was explaining what are virtues and what are not virtues. And some of the things that are not virtues are shame, are guilt, are obligation. We are coming into a point where we're literally not doing any of that right now. Or we're moving out of that energy. Because we've realized it doesn't feel good to us. When we have this space away from everybody, we can think, we can feel our own feelings, people aren't in our actual huge energy field that we do have. It's kind of like a vortex, like people's energy can come in, especially with super empathic. I think that everybody's an empath to a certain degree. It's a sliding scale. Super empathetic people, things tend to come in. And it's up to us to transmute that. Sometimes it's just becomes super overwhelming, but we're also learning that we don't need to save everybody. We don't need to pull everybody up. A lot of the people we try to pull up, we're literally zip tying their wrists to a rope, and they don't want to be saved. Next thing you know, the zip ties break, and then you're trying to climb down there. You don't even climb down there. You just jump like a fucking idiot, and they don't want to be saved. And all that could have been avoided if you stayed in your own lane. Right? And that is the energy. Oh, and there's a hand reaching up. There's this oppression. There's this not speaking the truth, but you're seeing clearly. So it's stepping into our self-expression house right here. Our voice, our truth, you know? Just like send that beautiful, loving energy to your throat and just speak truth, truth, truth. Even if you just say that word, truth. Regenerate it. Get cold water going on it in the shower. It's great for that. Something about apricots is coming in. That might be for one of you. That's either something to do with, I don't know why. I don't think it's the throat. Okay, so it's something with the heart and connecting to femininity. Hold on. And redirecting like the screen of your life so you can rewrite what femininity really is. Oh shit, we're getting deep now. Femininity isn't about being trampled on and about just taking the bullshit and just riding the hectic waves when you can literally easily get off of that ride at any point, or to go to calmer waters. It's not something that can be grabbed, because feminine energy is literally fluid. It moves. Masculine energy is more of the foundation, right? But we've had such toxic, oh boy, I'm channeling something for someone. Definitely myself as well. Toxic masculinity has grabbed femininity and thought that it could just hold it. And there's this revolting, revolt? Not repulsive, okay? I know. Sometimes things get weird channeling. There's a revolting of the feminine energy taking back its power, because we haven't felt that. Masculine energy is going, oh shit, okay, we need to give some space for this to grow. And in doing so, the masculinity can no longer use the femininity, what has been robbed of femininity, as a crutch. I know. That voice needs to be spoken. Oh boy, now we're getting all personal and shit. That's okay. That's why I'm here. I love you guys. If you made it this far, welcome to my tribe. Beautiful. Stand true in your fucking divinity, in your birthright, in your voice. That shit, it booms, man. I know and I don't want to go with gender, I'm not, whatever. I feel like I am speaking to specifically a woman, but it's mainly the feminine energy that I'm talking to right now. There's almost this question for some of, do you want to integrate these? Because what you've known to be masculine energy and I'm going deep, has hurt you, has deceived you, beaten you down. Masculine energy, not saying men, it could be, an overly toxic, whatever. But there's a need to stand in your power. Keep your eyes ahead for what you want, not meld and bend to what other people want. That there is a need for structure sometimes. And that's why we have that head and heart, You also have the Knight of Feathers, and I believe this is Coyote. It's about action and focus. It's putting these things into motion. These are all things, whatever I'm saying to you now, are things that you know. It's a matter of exercising that, showing who you truly are, and taking these nasty shackles off. They are weathered. They have been on way too long. They've been the confines of your femininity, and feeling okay with that, and feeling raw and vulnerable and safe with that. And let me tell you, femininity is so strong. Goddess energy, we haven't seen true God and goddess energy in a while, because we've had so much of an oppression in this society. And it's time to just let it flow, man. I definitely feel like a lot of this is oppression with heartbreak, whether it's with childhood, whether it's with friends, romantic. I could feel it in my back. It's just this need for self-love, need for support in all the right places with the right people, because we are meant to be interdependent. It's okay. to need people sometimes. It's okay to feel things sometimes. It's okay to let things go. Because if you don't let things go, you'll never have any room in that garden that you want to grow. And the cage that now exists are literally just the ribs and bones of the old oppression from before. We're moving into a new age. We are in a new age. If you allow yourself to pick the right timeline, if you decide to pick the lower timeline, you decide to pick the lower timeline. And you are going to be the only one who's going to have to make that. It's going to even be harder with this shift and being stuck in that, the down one. It's going to be harder to want to come out of that. It's going to turn into overindulgence, addictions, old thought processes. And it doesn't serve you. And it's going to be this like Hierophant in reverse, but stuck in a little sector. It's going to be up to you to reach out of that and pick a different timeline. Choosing the harder path isn't always the easiest path. And I know that sounds super obvious, but sometimes choosing the harder path has allowed other paths for us to be easier. What other paths, wherever these splits are, me and my friend literally got lost in the woods today, so it's funny. There's options right now. Where to go with all this. Whatever, if you're leaning towards a certain path, that path is not, it is just literally redoing karma. You are hitting that wheel of fortune in reverse energy, and you're going to be going the wrong way, so to speak. You can always find yourself out of that. But you're undoing a lot of work by having to do the work again and again and again. And at this point, it's not teaching anything. It's just comfort of staying in that same situation, the same carbon copy of these people that have hurt you, just in a new person. New old places into a new place. But it's all the same. It's just like someone put a magazine picture of another face over the same person. You're dealing with the same thing over and over again. You already know the lessons. You have the tools. You are the magician. So I'm not going to get super deep in this, but there are some people that are on this teeter-totter right now. And this split, it's happening so this unity consciousness can take place with the people that are moldable, not moldable, but like flowy, like know how. And then you have the people that are doing the victim thing, and obviously there needs to be a separation at that point, so to speak. We're still all in a whole, but some of us are meant to help certain people, and some of us are not meant to hurt certain people. I don't know why I said that, but one of y'all know I said that. Ooh, that's deep. I know I said that. And it sucks because, like, I know... anyways. Picking that route is going to hurt you, and it's going to hurt many people outside of that. It's the matter of pulling yourself out of a comfortable situation and allowing yourself to take that leap as the fool. You are the magician. You have all of the tools. You have the intuition. We had Hierophant in the board. It's just a matter of using that intuition, connecting these centers, right? And for some reason, there's this big importance to me right now with allowing yourself to always receive new information and not get stuck on one idea of things. Also understanding logic, not over-embellishing your thoughts, right? That heart, to be able to feel that intuition. Sometimes we just feel when shit isn't for us. And then that willpower, that solar plexus of just grounding that shit into reality. Because for some reason there was a download for me that the root chakra is becoming something different. Not that it's less and less necessary in a sense, yes, but more so for the better wording of it. It is turning into something different. Because grounding is different now. It's much more interdimensional when you decide to be a part of that higher collective consciousness shift. Things are more, it's stable, but it's like, it's lighter. It's not so heavy. It's not so primal. We're not in an area of primal instinct as much anymore. I understand we are going through a quarantine, but it's coming from a higher space, right? Things aren't so everyday this, everyday that. You don't have to do the thing. I'm not telling you to quit your fucking job. But there's no need to put yourself in a cage anymore, because we are all master manifestors at this point. If you've gotten this part in the game, in the simulation, in the matrix, hi. I'm happy you are here. I'm happy you've made it to 45 minutes and 48 seconds of this second part of the video. We are moving into a new fucking consciousness. Right? We are. It's time to just leave that be. And it's almost like it's in the rear view, but it's almost like that rear view is like there's multiple panes, so you know they're kind of like semi-opaque panes. So we see our most recent stuff that we don't want to go back to because we've made so many growths that they're kind of like closed windows. Like, okay, I can see through that window. But I had an extremely intense meditation last summer of my guides telling me, you can step into your darkness. This was all walking around my area, whatever. And I went to take one step, and they say, you can go there, but you don't need to sit in it to fix it. You can see it. You can observe. You have learned so much in this life. You can observe it by not sitting in the darkness. You don't always have to go in the dark. Dark meaning, in this instance, like a fog. A point before you have become as conscious as you are now. Why go back there? When you can decide what you want to. I want that timeline. I want that timeline where I have a great job with great wages, with great coworkers, we're all working towards a thing. We're not doing this all for Uncle Sam, right? I want to make sure my family is fed and clean and happy and warm and safe. And maybe I want to fucking live off grid, and I want it to be a beautiful community. I want us to be able to travel and help children understand that their voice booms. They're the ones who teach us. If we allow them to teach themselves by just being themselves, and they never second guess themselves, we are moving into a new truth. You can pick your timeline. So my only question I'm going to ask you tonight, what do you choose? Which timeline do you choose? Do you want to be happy? Or do you want to always have a feeling of reaching, of lack, of searching? Stop searching. You're here. And once you get to those certain, by just being and exercising that muscle, by staying in that reality, in that consciousness, you're rewiring your subconscious. Expanding, 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 and you become lighter. Things that are too heavy, that are too dense, you keep away from you. To keep your energy field safe, which there is nothing wrong with saying no. It is not a need to feel guilty, to feel obligated to message someone because you feel bad when you know they're toxic. Leave it behind and flow on. What do you choose? Do you choose new, or do you choose redundant, like that Wheel of Fortune in reverse energy? What do you want to go to? There's no need to rehash the things you have already learned. Pain can be addicting, because at that point, we don't have to have any control in our life, and we literally just are falling backwards. And at that point, like, we don't have to make decisions. Sometimes the hardest thing is to make decisions. And the decision right now is, do you want to be happy? Yeah, but... Yeah, what? There's no excuses. And I fucking love you. I'll catch you guys later.